What are we looking for? Dogs.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Bird, and we back on Bird's Eye View with it. Like always, appreciate the love and support. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Stop what you're doing, smash the like button, smash subscribe button, hop in the comment section, comment whatever you want. Of course, I'm dropping daily bangers day by day. You know we got news of the day coming out of Colorado, and we're going to jump right into it, dog. So, of course, we back with another recap with this Colorado football program. As always, shout out Well Off Media, Reach the People Media for providing us this phenomenal footage each and every day. Of course, we have the Kansas State Wildcats coming into Boulder, Colorado this Saturday night to face our Colorado Buffaloes. Is going to be the best opponent that we face all season so far. It's going to be a fun environment, man. Of course, it's a sold-out game. I will be in attendance, so as always, if you see me, come holler at me, come chop it up, dog. You want to take pictures, never turn down any pictures, man. I appreciate you guys a lot. It's definitely going to be fun, man. Of course, I'm going to go live, so if you're not going to be at the game, make sure you tune in to my live streams all weekend. Like I said, it's going to be fun. Now, I got the keys to victory. As always, you know, I bring the keys to victory week by week. So we have the keys to victory for this K-State matchup. Of course, we're going to start on the offensive side of the football. We got to start fast. Of course, last week, we got out of the blocks kind of slow. We turned it over early. Let's sustain a drive and get points on our opening drive of the game. We also got to continue the momentum on the ground. Of course, let's continue to get rushing touchdowns. Micah has 2 straight games where he's had a rushing touchdown. He had 3 in 2 games. So let's continue to get our running backs in the box. Of course, we got to protect Shedeur Sanders, right? Our offense is super explosive. We got weapons that a lot of teams just can't cover. So if we can protect Shedeur Sanders, keep him upright, give him time to step up in the pocket and make throws, we're going to do a lot of great things Saturday night. We got to limit the self-inflicted wounds, turnovers, and costly penalties. Now, of course, it's hard to have a game where you're not going to have any penalties, right? We just can't have costly ones, and we can't have too many. And obviously, we can't turn the ball over. We've done a pretty decent job with protecting the football all season. We got to make sure that we continue to do so. And we got to stay hot through the air. Like I said, our wide receivers are some of the best in the country. We got to continue to do what we need to do through the air. They do have a pretty decent corner and a pretty decent safety as well. That can definitely do some things on the back end. But at the end of the day, our 4 wide receivers are some of the best in the country, and it's going to be tough to stop our offense Saturday night. Let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball for us. Of course, we have to control Avery Johnson's legs. We've allowed 3 out of our 5 quarterbacks we face to rush for at least 75 yards this season. Of course, he is going to run it better than he's going to throw it. We have to control his legs. He'll be the most athletic quarterback we've seen all year. Of course, I'll break down him when I get to their impact players, but we have to control him. We haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher all season. Let's keep that going. Don't give up inside releases. I know we've done that a little bit this season. They run a lot of RPOs, a lot of slants and shallow posts. That's pretty much their offense. They really don't throw the ball deep down the field. Like I said, I'm going to get into that a little bit more when I get into their impact players. But when they try to complete the passes downfield, it's just not really good for them. Like I said, they run a lot of RPOs. We have to force Avery to beat us with his arm. He's not an accomplished pocket passer. He's just not. I'm not saying that he can't complete passes, but a lot of the passes that he's going to complete is going to be dependent on play action. It's going to be dependent on things that are underneath, a lot of shallow crossers. He's really not going to beat us over the top. Of course, our defensive tackles have to continue to play gap control football. Chidozie Nwankwo is an absolute stud, and he's been really, really good for us. And Quinn Barnes as well, Rayon Buell. I mean, we've got some great guys inside that have been doing some great things. We got to continue to keep that going. Our edge rushers also need to stay disciplined and need to continue to play well. BJ Green, Sam Okunlola, Dayon Hayes looks like he's coming back. Of course, Tajay McCoy and Arden Walker have also been really solid for us this year too. So of course our edge just needs to continue to stay disciplined, and of course, like I said, play well. We got to tackle well. Now we've done that all season. We've tackled well all year. They got a pretty solid running back. Like I said, they got Avery Johnson, but they also got a pretty solid running back. Of course, they got Dylan Edwards as well. We're all too familiar with his game, so we do have to tackle well. Just continue to do what we've been doing all year, and we got to create a turnover or 2. Of course, now our defense has done that pretty much all season. We created 4 of those last week. Well, not last week, the week before last, when we played the UCF Knights. We created 4 turnovers there. So we just got to continue to be a great defense and continue to do what we need to do to move forward and get the job done defensively. On special teams, of course, we got to limit Dylan Edwards in the return game. He already has a punt return touchdown this season. We know how explosive he is with his legs and the things he can do once he get a crease. So we got to make sure we limit him on punt returns. Of course, we got to make every extra point and field goal anytime we get a chance to put points on the board on special teams. Our special team need to be special. And, of course, we have to tackle well on kickoff as well. We got to make sure that we don't give up any big explosive plays in the return game, either that punt return or kick return. It doesn't matter. We got to make sure that we're disciplined. Now, let's talk a little bit more about K-State. Now, everything starts up front, right? That run offense, PFF grade is 19th in the country, 84.8. Now, they have some solid offensive linemen. They do have a couple that are really solid. They have a junior. He's 6'4", 287 in the center. Sam Hetchett, hope I'm saying his name right. He pretty much anchors the unit. They also have another really good one in North Dakota transfer, Easton Kilty. He's 6'6", 307, plays left tackle for the Wildcats. PFF rates him as the number 50 pass blocking tackle through 5 games so far this year. They have a solid front 5 for sure. Now, I believe, like I said, we have the best defensive line in the Big 12, and we've done some phenomenal things. We stopped the UCF offense, who at the time was the number 1 rushing attack in the country. So we do some great things defensively. We grade out really well, PFF over them as well too, in a lot of different categories. So in my opinion, we do have a strong unit up front. And of course, we're going to be able to control that run game for sure. Now let's switch over to their impact players, man. Of course, start with a quarterback, right? Avery Johnson, 6'2", $192, sophomore out of Wichita, Kansas. In 2023, he was the Pop-Tarts Bowl MVP. He was also honorable mention Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. He played in 8 games last year, making 2 starts. He went 37 for 66 with 479 yards, 5 touchdowns. He also had 52 carries on the ground, 296 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now this season in 2024, he's 77 for 126, 879 yards, 9 touchdowns. He also has 44 carries for 321 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now he's going to run it better than he's going to throw it. Averages 8 rushes per game for about 65 yards. He's completing 61% of his passes, about 15 attempts per game for about 176 yards. 62% of K-State's passing attack is less than 10 yards. They do not throw the ball down the field. Johnson completing percentage drops 29% when he targets receivers 20+ yards down the field. They're going to run a lot of crossers, zone floods, slot fades, wheel routes. Like I said, they have an RPO system. The pass concepts are primarily slants and shallow posts. For the most part, his reads are spot read or single half of the field. Now, he does average 240 total yards per game. He leads the team in yards per carry with 8.2. He also leads the team in total touchdowns with 11. Again, they're a heavy play action RPO attack. Now, they got a good running back. Number 31, he's DJ Gideons. He's 6'1", 212 junior out of Junction City, Kansas. In 2023, all Big 12 honorable mention. He was 2023 Doak Walker National Running Back of the Week for his UCF performance. He was also Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week for that performance as well. In 2022, he was honorable mention all Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. He played in 13 games last season. He had 223 carries, 1,226 yards, 10 touchdowns. He also added 29 catches for 323 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air as well. In 2024, this season, he's continuing to do great things. He has 83 carries, 604 yards, 2 touchdowns, as long as it's for 66 yards. He averaged 7.3 yards per attempt, 120.8 yards per game. He doesn't have breakaway speed, but he definitely runs really hard, averages 5 yards after contact. Now, of course, they got Dylan Edwards as well. Of course, the Colorado transfer, 5'9", $167, sophomore out of Derby, Kansas. Of course, in 2023 with Colorado last year, he was Pac-12 Freshman of the Week for his TCU performance. We all remember that first game, 4 touchdowns against TCU. He's the first true freshman in Colorado history with at least 250 rushing yards and 250 passing yards in the same season. He's only the 9th player ever to do that in Colorado history. In 2024, this season with K-State, he has 29 carries, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also has 7 catches for 37 yards and another touchdown. Of course, he's on special teams as well in the return game. 6 punt returns for 96 yards. He also has a 71-yard touchdown for a punt return as well. We got to limit him in the special teams game. Of course, we know how explosive Dylan Edwards is. We've seen it firsthand. Let's continue with the wide receivers. Jace Brown, he's 6 foot, $180, sophomore out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. In 2023, 10 games, he has 6 starts, 27 catches, 437 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 16.2 yards per receptions. That was the most among all true freshmen in the country last season. In 2024, 17 catches, 277 yards, 1 touchdown. He's K-State's most explosive player on the outside, and he's Avery Johnson's favorite target. He averaged 16.3 yards per catch this season. He has receptions of 44 yards, 48 yards, and 55 yards as well. We have to minimize the explosive plays with Jace Brown. Let's keep it rolling. Wide receiver Kagan Johnson, 6', 206 junior out of Omaha, Nebraska. He transferred from Iowa. He was there in 2022. In 2023 at K-State, he had 24 catches, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns. In 2024, so far, he has 14 catches, which is second on the team, 161 yards, no touchdowns so far this season. Now, we're going to switch over to their defense. Now, I will say, they do have a solid defense for sure, and they tackle well as a unit. And it starts with linebacker Austin Romaine, 6'2", 242, sophomore out of Hillsboro, Missouri. In 2023, he was honorable mention All Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year. As a true freshman, he played in 12 games. He started 5 of them. He had 22 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss. Now, so far in 2024, he has 34 tackles, which leads the team. He also has 4 tackles for loss as well, 2 sacks and 1 forced fumble. And he's doing a phenomenal job so far this year, and we got to make sure that we definitely contain that young man and get a hat on him. Of course, they got another linebacker, Austin Moore, 6'1", 220 senior out of Lewisburg, Kansas. In 2023, he was second team All Big 12, honorable mention Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. In 2023, he started all 13 games, led the team in tackles with 63 and in tackles for loss with 12.5. In 2022, he also started every game, led the team with 87 tackles and 10 tackles for loss. So far in 2024, second in tackles with 22. He has 2.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and a PBU. We also got to get a hat on him as well. Both of those linebackers can definitely play. They got an edge rusher, Brendan Mott, 6'5", 245 senior out of Iowa City, Iowa. He's a 2023 honorable mention All Big 12. In 2023, he had 27 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 PBUs as well. Now, so far in 2024, he's pretty much doubled his numbers already. I mean, he's already surpassed a lot of his numbers. Of course, he has 18 tackles, which is 9 shorter than the 27 he had last year. But I mean, he still has a lot more opportunities, right? So he's going to blow past that 27 number. He has 5.5 tackles for loss right now, which leads the team, which is more than what he had all last season. He has 4 sacks already as well, too. That also leads the team. He's recorded a sack in 4 out of the first 5 games. He also has 4 quarterback hurries as well. That leads the team. He's another one that we definitely need to put a hat on. He can be disruptive, and we can't allow him to do so Saturday night. Of course, let's keep it rolling. Let's get to their defensive backfield here. They got a safety, Jordan Riley, 6', 202 senior out of Clinton, Maryland. He was a Ball State transfer. In 2023, he started all 12 games there, had 61 tackles, 3rd on the team. There was 3.5 tackles for loss. He also had 8 PBUs as well. In 2022, he started all 12 games, had 97 tackles, 12 PBUs. He also had a forced fumble. He was all MAC that year. In 2024, so far, he leads this Kansas State team in PBUs with 3. He also has 16 tackles, a tackle for loss, and he has 1 quarterback hurry as well. Now, they got a corner, in my opinion, who is a stud. This kid definitely tackles well for sure, but he's a stud. Jacob Parrish, 5'10", a $198 junior out of Lothe, Kansas. I hope I said that right. I don't think I did, though. But in 2023, he was honorable mention All Big 12. He played 12 games, 44 tackles. He had 2.5 tackles for loss, a sack. He also had 4 interceptions. He had a team high 9 PBUs. He led the team last year in passes defended with 13. Of course, he's keeping going in 2024. He leads all DBs in tackles with 25. 20 of those are solo tackles. He leads the team in solo tackles. He can definitely tackle well. He has a tackle for loss. He also has an interception this year as well and a PBU. He does some good things at corner. He's their best corner for sure. Now, they also have VJ Payne, Marquise Siegel, and they have Keenan Garber. Now, Marquise Siegel, he had 9 PBUs last year. He does some great things at corner also. And then Keenan Garber has an interception. All 3 of those guys have a pick apiece. So they have 4 interceptions on the season so far right now. So, of course, those are the impact players. Those are the keys to victory for this Kansas State matchup. Of course, if we take care of business and do exactly what we need to do, play our brand of football, I don't see this K-State team coming into Boulder and beating us. So I'm not going to keep it long. Just want to bring you guys another phenomenal update. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what time it is, dog. Bird's eye view, man.